Depression is a complicated condition, and I've been around the block with neurotransmitters, nutritional therapy, or neurotransmitter supplements, I should say, nutritional therapy, talk therapy, antidepressants, energy medicine, right? You got to do all that. You really got to go out after it, and there's the matter of how you frame it, okay? And the two most freeing things about the way Swedenborg frames the situation is that he says that you're a head bully. This thing inside you is one, it's not you. So even though you can't stop it, you don't have to trust it like you trust yourself, okay? And two, it's not true. It's not true. None of it's true. In Swedenborg's world, evil and falsity are linked, okay? So, I believe that all this stuff that you believe currently about yourself, that makes you feel, bad about yourself, low self-esteem, less than perfect in some way, is either an outright lie, okay, or it's a twisted truth. Like it's a fact that's supported by these flawed principles that eventually doesn't matter anymore. So explore that idea if you guys get a chance. I mean, I've found that there's freedom in that, okay? So I'm attracted to Swedenborg's philosophy because of what he says about the origins of negativity, but I'm also maybe even more pumped about what he says about goodness. Love your enemies. Jesus Christ said that, which is, if you really think about it, a pretty awesome, mind-blowing thing to say. And the way that Swedenborg talks about how people should behave towards each other, or how we were meant to behave, or how we were created to behave toward each other, follows right in that same vein. I sometimes struggle with God and thoughts of God because it's hard to reconcile God with the pain in my life. But I'm always into people, and especially after depression, because I feel like I empathize with people more. And we're all so fragile and complex, and we're all stuck on this planet together, and I've just really come to see that we're so spread out around all the different parts of our lives. Think about just growing up and the complicated effects on you of the social scene, and of the educational scene, of the family scene, all the scenes you're involved in. We're just spread out among so many parts of our lives. And it might just be a recurring coincidence, but I do see in the questions that come out of that pain, I do see God continues to be this answer, the idea of God. So the essence of interaction. Depression got me to think a lot about the essence of interaction. Okay, this is us now. We're all people. We all walk around and we all have this gold inside us. And what I mean by gold is the things that make people like you, okay? Your talents, your positive personality traits, your achievements, that kind of stuff, your successes. And we all interact with each other, right? And we affect each other in some great ways, okay? But we also affect each other in some negative ways. And sometimes chronically, and sometimes without even trying, even down to little things like social jealousy and stuff like that. For example, so I'm giving this speech right now, and it's hip, it's a good way to pass the time. You guys are probably going to clap at the end. It will be very rude if you don't clap at the end. Anyway, but if I was in the audience, there would definitely be the potential open to me to feel like, oh, I wish I was giving that speech. Or I wish I was giving a better speech. Or I wish I was at the center of attention. We edge each other out without even trying. There's those kind of cycles in all kinds of human interaction. And I've suffered a lot at the hands of that, and I'm tired of those cycles. So naturally, if I come across a body of thought that says that those cycles are going to end, I'm intrigued. Swedenborg says they will. He says they can, and he has this idea of this internal state called heaven that you can reach where competition ceases to be a factor. Where thoughts and feelings are more like communal, where we really go from being potential obstacles to each other to actually being gifts to each other. And I think that that's how it should be. And some people might say, hey, that's wishful thinking. And I say, okay, maybe, but maybe it's a compass, I think we're wired to know where our home is, and if you see something and it feels like home, it's because it is home, that's our home, that's your home, okay? And this thing inside you, your head bully, is not your roommate, all right? It doesn't belong with you. It doesn't belong in your home. It's just a bad TV station. Thank you.